This TikToker is in big trouble. He goes by the name Icy. And Icy loves to flex on TikTok. Like here he is showing that his jewelry's real, here he is showing off his car, showing off his house, showing off his outfit, I guess. I mean, you get it, he's that kind of influencer. But one day, Icy's out driving his pink Mercedes, and he's in traffic, and he gets into some kind of road rage incident with a couple of other people in other cars. Particularly with this guy, who we'll just call Joe, because I don't know his real name. So Joe and his buddy, they're in his pickup truck stuck in this traffic jam, and Icy, he's out of his car, he's yelling at someone else, and Joe calls out to him like, dude, just get back in your car. And Icy turns to Joe like, hey, don't with me, I have a pew-pew. And then Icy throws his whole ass drink at Joe. So Joe and his friend, they get out of the truck and they are pissed. And Icy, instead of getting in his car and driving away like a decent human being, instead he gets into the glove compartment and pulls out a pew-pew and he points it right at them. And Joe and his friend are like, okay bro, chill. And they turn around and go back to their car. And when they do, pow! Icy pistol whips Joe in the back of the head with his pew-pew. So then Joe gets back into his truck and he and his friend drive away. And Icy gets in his car and he chases them. And you can see footage of it here, and he ends up swerving around them and cutting them off. And yeah, and you can see he's clearly the aggressor. And Joe, he's still freaked out, so he calls 911.
This guy just got out of his car and pistol with me with a gun.
And then Icy calls 911 and he tells a different story.
This truck came up and tried to cut me off, and then I had 4 guys jump out the car and say, I'm gonna beat the out of you and all that stuff.
Minutes later, police arrive, and they talk to Joe, but Icy's already fled the scene, like he's gone. Later that night, police roll up to Icy's house looking for him, and he just happens to be pulling out of his driveway. So, bam, police surround him with their pew-pews pointed right at him, and Icy's like, don't you know who I am?
Put both of your hands out the window, kid. We're not with you.
I don't know who I am.
Nope. Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. Do it now.
So I guess bro thinks he's too TikTok famous to get arrested. So anyway, they arrest him. Because, you know, it's against the law to pistol whip someone. And they search his car, and they find his pew-pew, and of course, Icy denies he did anything wrong. And so he's in the back of the police car, and he's on the phone with his girlfriend.
Babe, I'm getting arrested because of those people that cut me off.
And I know you're like, Ray, wait, he has a girlfriend? Yes, he has a girlfriend. But he's on the phone with her, and police are like, you're being arrested, you can't be on your phone. And they take it from him.
You can't take my phone, this is my possession, so now you're gonna be a thief? Now you're gonna be a thief.
You're under arrest. You're not allowed to have the phone, okay?
Wow.
And then Icy starts with the whole, but I'm internet famous thing again.
You don't see any problem with this. You don't see the problem that somebody with a bright pink car who is famous online gets with on the freeways all the time, and that's why I carry a gun. You don't even know what gun is the same gun that I hit with if I did. So you don't even know what gun was used in crime, but you want to sit here and act like I'm the criminal?
And so anyway, sometime later, he's still in the back of the police car on his way to jail. And Icy continues to argue that he's the victim here, and that all of this is the result of his online fame.
I mean, not everybody knows who you are.
It doesn't matter. I have 58 million followers, baby girl. Everybody who's been on TikTok or Instagram is so quiet.
You can't assume that everybody knows who
I
you
don't
are.
assume that
so.
everybody knows who I am. I said a lot of people know who I am.
And by the way, I don't know where he got that 58 million followers number, because his TikTok account doesn't show anywhere near that. But whatever, who's counting? So anyway, they get him to the station, and he keeps resisting arrest and trying to flex at the same time.
You're not about to take $30,000, $40,000 worth of jewelry without me knowing exactly where it's
I'm
going.
gonna write it on this form.
So
and then
go
you're
ahead and
gonna
write
sign
it on the form.
No,
and
I
then
have to
bring it
know
to
what I
me.
have to put on it. So give me the jewelry.
You don't know what this jewelry is valued.
Why? Come on now. I don't.
You this to me the whole entire time in the car.
I've actually been so nice to you.
No,
You've been calling.
Get back in the car.
Let him take
They'll
his chance
figure it
in
out.
jail.
Okay. Oh, wait.
If they lose, they lose.
And so at this point, I guess he gets mad, because he just starts vomiting insults at them.
You guys are so annoying. It's like a power trip. You guys didn't do good. You guys had no friends in school.
That's true. None.
You guys had no anybody thinking that you were cool. So
Tiger King, if you move your arm again,
And then they throw him in the back of the car and he like tries to kick them.
Have a seat in the car. Hey!
there you go. Another charge right there.
And so anyway, after all that, Icy's finally arrested. Bam, here's his mugshot. And he spends a couple of days in jail and then he gets bailed out. Now at this point, Icy could lay low. He could keep his head down, try not to make any noise or cause any trouble. Oh, but that's not what he does. He immediately gets on TikTok and he starts spinning his own version of the story.
Guys, should I do a story time about how I got ripped out my Mercedes and my ass beat for trying to take my seatbelt off when they tell me to get out the car?
And while he's out on bail, waiting for his trial, he's posting all over TikTok, still trying to flex like life is good. Like showing off his jewelry and showing off another Mercedes I guess he owns. Showing off a bunch of Louis Vuitton stuff he bought. Buying his girlfriend an expensive purse. And generally just showing off stacks of cash. Now, where did a guy like Icy get all this disposable income to buy all this stuff? Honestly, I don't know. But my guess is he doesn't have all this money to spend. My guess is he's in debt, living off credit cards, stuff like that. No one with any real wealth shows off stacks of cash like that. It's a dead giveaway that he's low-key not managing his finances well and probably living in debt. Anyway, eventually his trial gets postponed. So, in the meantime, bro is right back to living his best life. Until Icy gets in trouble again. Allegedly, he gets into it with someone else, and I guess he ends up keying that person's car or something? I'm not really sure. And police find out, and his bond is revoked, and bam, he's arrested again. And before he goes back to jail for a long time, he does whippets while live streaming on TikTok, I guess to send himself off. And so he sits in jail. And a year later, his trial finally happens. And he's found guilty and he's sentenced to a total of 5 years in prison. And since then, his girlfriend, I guess she's now his wife because I guess they got married, but she has completely taken over his TikTok. Like it looks like she's running all his social media now.
Hey y'all, so I have to come on here and tell you guys that obviously I'm not on drugs and I'm just sad and breaking out. I'm off birth control and I am not doing well.
Also, to top it all off, Icy's mom, like his biological mother, she also makes TikToks. And sometimes she gets on and talks about what a turd he is.
Are you a parent and have you raised an asshole? Because I am, and apparently that is exactly what I did.
That's just amazing. Good luck to all of them.